Hello, I'm Alan Petticoat, Director of the Southern California Rental Housing Association. We're a 100-year-old trade organization for people who own, manage, or supply services to the rental housing industry, residential rental housing. So we're going to continue in our series of getting to know the industry, owners and managers, and our supplier members. So today I want to introduce you to Melissa Wickerd. Melissa, so why don't you introduce yourself? Tell us all about yourself.
Hi, I'm Melissa Wickerd. I work for Atlantic and Pacific Management. I'm one of their community managers. I also hold my CAM designation, so that was a great thrill to actually be able to use the apartment association to go to school and to get my CAM. So please, everyone, do it if you haven't already. I've gotten to work with the association. Not only am I the chair for education, as well as for the Riverside Task Force or Planning Committee, but
whatever we call it.
I also sit on a couple of the committees as well as membership and legislation. So I'm really excited to get to speak with you.
Excellent. So you're pretty new to Southern California, or new again, right? You were heavily engaged in
right. I've been here in Southern California a year.
Okay.
A year and a half now. Gosh.
Goes by quick, right?
It does.
I bring that up specifically because what a lot of people don't realize about our industry is how portable the jobs are. That you can take what you know and your knowledge here, pretty much take it anywhere in the world.
Absolutely. This is an industry that is everywhere. Housing is needed no matter where you are. I've been very lucky to be accepted into this industry and made it kind of my career. It was never really the intention, but it happens. You get kind of sucked in and you either love it or hate it, and every day it's a different feeling. But I'm lucky in the fact that my husband's military, so we move around all the time. And no matter where I go, I've been able to find a job because, again, like I said, this is an industry that is everywhere. So I've been unique to get to see it in different states. I've been very lucky to be a part of the association in other states. So I've gotten to see, how everything is different, but also where so much of it is the same. So when I got here to Southern California, I was invited to join the Southern California Rental Housing Association, and I jumped at the chance, and so glad I did.
Yeah, I think it's important to point out that, like several of our members that are actively engaged, and so many of our members in general, they're part of the rental housing industry. We have service men and women who have, over the years, they've always been moving around, living on base, so they've amassed some funds and they want to invest it somewhere. So a lot of them will buy rental housing as an investment or a place to settle down when they're wrapping up their careers in the military. Others, spouses, for example, also find it beneficial because it is portable, like you said. And we've had members who've taken these jobs to Hawaii, to England, to Texas, to Oklahoma. I've got a lady in the industry who's coming out from the Midwest this next month, coming out here to work for one of our companies in our region because it is portable and for those things. So I always want to point that out because a lot of people don't realize what a great career it is in terms of that ability to move around. How did you come to be in the industry? Because you said you fell into it.
I was really lucky. I was, 20 years old. And looking for a job that was going to work with some of my school schedule. And I actually took a position in the same company that I'm working for now and in their corporate office, just as a receptionist. And I got to answer phones for the other regional managers and for our owners. And I got to kind of see the day-to-day workings of it, not just at the corporate level, but I also talked to the people on properties. And I thought, well, that looks like fun. I could probably do that. And it just happened one day. They came in and were like, hey, we have a position open on one of the properties. Would you want to give it a shot? And I was like, okay, sounds like fun. And that's kind of all she wrote. And it worked out with my hours, even still going to school. I could take classes all my days off because, again, in the rental industry, it's 7 days a week, 365 days a year, 24 hours a day. So I could work and go to school, but I went to school and I have my degree and I just still kind of fell back and always kind of stayed in this industry because I like it. The money can be good. It can be great. It can be whatever you want it to be, but it really was that I could move around with it. There was never an issue finding a job wherever we got stationed. Small towns, like I said, everyone needs housing.
Yeah.
So I was very blessed to have a job that I can take with me. And when I meet other people, especially military spouses or not, but if they're looking for a job and if I feel, customer service and you can make it what you want it to be, I'm like, this is an industry. Jump in. You can go anywhere, whether it's even in the office, whether it's maintenance. I don't care. In this industry, you can go anywhere. And I've had friends who've done it and they're like, thank you. And so sometimes they don't thank me, but it is, you can go anywhere.
What I'm told quite often about that, and so, I think a couple things to point out is that you don't have to have a college degree to do this. You could be working on a college degree. You could be a high school graduate and come into the industry. And you can come into the industry in the maintenance side, or you can come into the maintenance on the professional leasing side. There's both avenues, and they cross over at times, and they both elevate to the same points as you go up the corporate ladder, and if you want to. And we actually actively try and recruit out of high schools to get into the industry. Right now, there's some entry-level maintenance positions. There's a dire need across the country for these positions. So entry-level maintenance positions, you got a high school degree, you can get into the industry with very little training, and we offer these sort of training programs, and you can get very good incomes out of these positions, making good income with benefits and things like that. And like you said, help you on your college path. You can do it while you're going to college. And the same with the leasing professionals. I think that it's the same, and one is not for men and one's not for women. They're both very interchangeable. We have women in our industry that are very good at maintenance, and we have men that they excel at the leasing because they have that personality for it. It's really interesting how our industry works that way. And we have companies that in our industry that actually actively recruit out of the military in all levels. And I think some people come to me every now and then and say, well, that's pretty much for officers and things like that. And I'm like, no, what the industry knows about people who've gone through the military are that they're trainable. If anything, people in the military are definitely trainable, and that's what they need. They need people that can say, these are the policy procedures, this is the how-to, this is how these things work, this is what you need to do, and they excel at it. And so that's an interesting crossover with our industry. Often the industry is seen with a sort of negative light. You've been around long enough, you know this, and you've been all over the country, as you said. What would you tell somebody who says, well, it's the rental housing industry, you guys are all bad people kind of thing?
Always. I think that's something sadly we hear. People just assume like we're the big bad landlords, all we want is money and that's all that we care about. And it's really not it. It's a job just like anyone else has a job. It's customer service. Yes, I have an owner to answer to, but I don't think people realize what goes into running a community or even a business in general, because if it's not yours, then, you don't feel it the same way. But there's gas, electric, there's water. This is where people live, so they're already emotional. We are therapists, counselors, I tell people all the time, because I know so much about my residents that I wouldn't necessarily know if I worked, say at Jack in the Box, because people come in and get out, get what they need. Not here. I know everything about them, sometimes a little too much. So but I'm here for them, but I'm also, again, like I said, running a business. So I want them to understand that when I ask for rent, or, you're being too loud, or this is happening, or your child's, whatever the case may be, there's more to it than just what they think. And I think a lot of people also assume that we're genies and we can just, make everything happen and it's going to be perfect. Well, that's not the case, especially when you're dealing with people. Yeah. And again, at home, which is supposed to be their sacred place, and I get it. So they think everything should just be perfect and quiet and clean, and I want all of that too. But again, I'm 325 units, and times that by 2 to 3 people living in an apartment or a home. I can't just snap my fingers and make it happen. There are laws. I think people don't also understand that we are governed by a lot of laws.
Yeah.
just think, oh, well, you give me keys and now I live here and you take my money and that's it. No, no, no. There's so much to it.
Not that simple.
And it is, because even my husband thought the same thing, and that's okay. You know, they think, well, you just go and you sit behind a desk and you take people. No. And then they've come to work. Luckily, my husband has come and seen things, and he went, yeah, no, I'm glad I do what I do. I'm like, okay, thank you.
Yeah, exactly. I always liken property managers, especially if you live on site or you're on site all the time, you're a mini mayor. You handle the potholes to the finances of the whole property and everything that goes in between. And a lot of people don't realize that they just think that, like you said, you're there to rent the place out and collect the check. But every little nook and cranny of that property, whether it's physical or, you know, a functionality or business process, all of it is your responsibility. It's overwhelming sometimes to stop and think about it. And then you throw in, you know, natural disasters or fires and things like that, or pandemics. And all those things add additional layers that last week you didn't have to worry about. But now you have to come up with a whole new plan and policy. And oftentimes you're trying to react to it faster than the legislators can actually create rules. And then you have to go back and constantly readjust and things like that. So it's an interesting business to be in, and it is a challenge. And I see it in our members, and I see it when we talk to them. So Melissa, is there anything else you'd like to share with our members?
Honestly, what I like to share with members is just to keep participating in the association. I know right now with COVID, we can't see each other in person, and Zoom is a whole nother way of doing things or anything else, but stay connected. You need to, because again, like we just said, the laws are changing. There's so much going on daily, if not hourly half the time. So having the resource pages, being able to go to the website for SCRHA.org, go to that, listen to the blogs, listen to our legislation updates, stay informed. It helps you, but in the end, even if it's benefiting you, it's really benefiting everyone else, because those who are not informed spread the wrong message or the wrong laws, or they taint our industry. Yeah. And they're out telling people things that they shouldn't or that they really don't know anything about. So again, be informed, go take classes. I was lucky to have a company that allowed me to take the time to get, you know, certified. Do it. Yeah. Join. I can't really express that as much. I'm going to keep saying it, but really that you have to. It's nice to be able to commiserate with others who do the job that you do every day. But again, I learn something almost daily when I'm on these meetings with you guys, or I didn't hear that. Oh, is that what's happening down in San Diego? But again, remember, Southern California is so vast that I'm up here in Riverside. So some things are going to be more Riverside based than San Diego, but it's still helpful. I still have properties down in San Diego. So just, again, be informed and pay attention and join as often as you can.
Yeah, you know, it's like any industry, there's a bad actor in every industry, whether you're a doctor, a lawyer, a politician, bookkeepers, I mean, you name it, construction, there's always bad actors. And unfortunately, the bad actors tend to be the ones that are portrayed mostly. But the industry, as big as it is and as complicated it is, there really truly are few and far between bad actors. And people ask me about the laws, and you know what I tell people, you know, people come to me and ask me, well, what about this? And I said, well, there are no laws for tenants and laws for landlords. They're just laws. They apply to both. They're the same laws that apply to both, and you need to read them and understand them. And a lot of laws are gray, and that's a challenge for everybody. And sometimes they're meant to be gray, sometimes they're not, and they're just, you know, someone missed something or somebody changed a law down the road, a law that was created years ago, kind of thing. So, you know, go to everybody and understand that it's not a simple process on any level to do this. So thank you, Melissa, for joining us today. I really appreciate you taking the time out. I hope you have a great weekend, because I know for the viewers out there, it is a weekend. Thanks for watching the video and checking out the information. If you want to know more about our organization, SoCalRHA.org. That's SoCalRHA.org is our website. You could also check out our YouTube channel at SoCalRHA. So goodbye for now, and we wish you all a safe weekend. Bye.
Bye.